Bullseye view. I'm the host with the most, baby. Podcasting for the masses, and I'm coming correct. What's up, and welcome to Bullseye Review. I am Keith Bulluck, the host with the most, but I am not hosting today. I am riding shotgun with Nasir Cook. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back, baby. So we got a lot to talk about because a lot happened this past week.
Yes, it did.
You know, from Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase, you know, that whole controversy of, you know, him spitting.
That's nasty, man.
That's terrible. Like, that's
First of all, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Like, you can see it. The eye in the sky saw it. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing. You know, shit talking is one thing. That's a part of the game. That's what comes with it. You know, brings the best out in competition. But then, you know, when you spit on somebody, you taking it somewhere else. You know, you spit on a man in the street, there's gonna be some problems. You know what I mean? Right. So I like Coach Tomlin's response. It's like, when you get spit on, you do what
once
comes.
That line crosses, you do what you got to do.
And Jalen Ramsey did what he had to do, and I just hope that doesn't spill off to the offseason, to off the field. You know what I mean? I hope they're done with it. But, you know, Jamar Chase is too good of a player to be doing that, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Man. I mean, getting a one-game suspension when your team is in the playoff.
Yeah, Jalen Carter.
Joe Burrow's about to come back. You can't be doing that.
Jalen Carter from the Eagles did it the first game of the season when he spit on Dak. That wasn't cool neither. So, yo, I don't know where that shit is coming from. That's some weak-ass shit.
Yeah, man. But speaking of shit talking, we seen your boy, you know, a little bit. Adam Pacman Jones.
Adam,
come on,
that's
man.
my dog.
Him and Steve Smith. So that's kind of like the time where I started watching, but I don't really know them guys like that. I know both of them are dogs.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
But what's going on with that? I'm seeing a lot of different things. Steve Smith on podcasts talking. Yeah. They taking it to social media. So what's going on, man?
I'm like you, man, outside looking in. But, you know, Pac's my brother, man. And, like, I don't know the animosity between him and Steve Smith. But, yeah, Steve Smith was a dog, man. I competed and played against him a couple times. I know him. I don't have the same energy towards him that Pacman does. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. But what I'm taking from it is Pac is saying in their man-to-man matchups, Steve Smith didn't do his thing. He's saying that one clip that's out there with him getting slammed, that's just not a good look. But he's saying that one clip was a busted coverage, and he's saying, all right, yeah, you got that, but, you know, what have you done other than that? And, you know, I feel that he's in his right to say that. So, you know, and Pac talks shit with the best of them. So, you know,
it looked like it,
right on my man Adam. But Steve Smith is definitely a perennial Hall of Famer in my book.
No, most definitely. But give me a Pacman story, man, from your time with the Titans. He seems like this is like who he is as a person, you know, just outspoken, you know, all that. So give me a story on him.
So, you know, Pac's first year that he came in, he wasn't all the way dialed into football when the season started, right? But then as the season started to go, you could see, you know, the sparks of why he was picked, you know, number 6 overall. That second year, he hit his stride. He came in focused. He came in, you know, on point. Went to the Pro Bowl, I believe, that year, you know, intercepting shit, returning punts for a touchdown, scoring on offense. Pac was the man, and he would have been a superstar faster had he, you know, things didn't go awry. Quick story is we're playing the New England Patriots here in 06, I believe, Vince Young's rookie year. And Jeff Fisher told us, look, if we win this game and, you know, let's say the Jacksonville loses, we had to win and 4 other teams had to lose in order for us to make the playoffs. But the first thing we had to do was win. And I just remember we lost, but all that other shit happened. But the Pacman part of the story is playing the Patriots, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing on his sideline. It was a TV timeout. And I just hear Bill Belichick like, get him off the field. Get him off the field, talking to the ref. Pac over there getting the crowd hype. He's like, Belichick, shut your old ass up. Belichick, you know, talking that shit. He had Bill Belichick hot, and I don't even know why. That's a rated PG story, but that just goes to show Pac. Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick ain't even playing in the game. That man,
Pac
he
crazy,
talked that shit. Yeah,
Word.
I wouldn't call him crazy. He's calculated. Very calculated.
Word. So now the other big news in the headlines, we saw it this past Sunday. Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
He got in against the Ravens. Perfect timing, baby. But he got in against the Ravens, and he didn't look too good. 4 for 16. Everybody was talking trash about him. But now he's about to get his shot. Dylan Gabriel is out. So what are your thoughts on the whole Shedeur situation right now?
To start from the beginning, man, I was actually at the draft. So, we were expecting him to go in the first round. And I get it, things not everyone's going to be a first round pick, but to slip all the way to the 5th round and some of the quarterbacks that got drafted before him, I think there's a little more involved, but who's to say? It doesn't matter. That's all water under the bridge now. He is on the Browns and he's getting his first start. He didn't play well last week, but he didn't get any reps. From what I understand, he didn't get any first team reps. And for those that say the backup don't get first team reps, that's bullshit. Every team that I played on, the backup usually got 2 to 3 reps at the end of each period, at the end of each script. They save a couple reps for the backup quarterback to get in and get some reps with the first team. So I don't know what that's all about. But, yeah, the game plan is in. He gets a full week of practice to get the, mesh huge. And mesh with his O-line, mesh with his wide receivers, running just to get the whole game plan. And like you said, that's huge. So I really look forward to seeing his first real day on the job. I don't expect a lot. He's a rookie quarterback, and that kind of takes me to where we are here in Nashville. Yeah, the way they speak about Cam Ward. Look, if you don't see the signs that Cam Ward has potential after 10 games, then you don't really know football. You're just someone on the side that just wants to talk shit about the first round pick of the Titans. He's a bust, however it goes. I don't know how many adults were good at their job the first 10 days of going to their job. You understand what I'm saying? He's only played in 10 games. Yeah. He has gotten better at things. Last game, he got the ball out much faster, so he's aware of that. So what I like to see in young players is them getting better each week, right? You got to build on where you left off the week before. Now, if you keep making the same dumbass mistakes, then you might have to question, can this kid learn? Is he coachable? All those different things that come into play. Right. But if you see things a player gets better at throughout the course of the year, you got to let it stay its course, because look what's around him. There will be times that Cam Ward has 2 rookie wide receivers, a wide receiver that was brought up from the practice squad, and a free agent.
A shady offensive line as well.
You know what I'm saying? An offensive line in development. So, he's not really working with a lot. And he's always positive. I love his attitude. And I just hope the kid stays healthy so he can get to next year.
Yeah, my thing with Cam Ward is he has no really supporting cast. And whenever you see, everybody wants to see immediate results, but they forget that greats like Patrick Mahomes, he waited behind Alex Smith. Jordan Love is starting in the league right now. He waited behind Aaron Rodgers, and so did Aaron Rodgers after Brett Favre. So we're expecting a guy to come in immediately into – there's a reason why the Titans had the number 1 overall pick and why they're probably about to have it again this year.
Tell him, Nas.
So, I mean, you got to be patient with this, and then you bring in a veteran receiver like Calvin Ridley, and he's a great player, but he's not available right now. So your veteran is gone in the receiver room. You got all these different types of rookies trying to figure out and find their identity. I think everybody's rushing it for no reason, because we knew what it was when Cam Ward came in. There weren't really high expectations. He's showing that he is a number 1 pick for a reason at times. Like, I remember being at the game. I can't remember who were they playing against. I think it was like the second home game of the season where he throws a completely across the field pass to Ellick and they catch it in the end zone. The Rams game. So he's showing different signs of greatness, but I mean, guys got to be patient,
Yeah, I think in this society right now, it's like microwave popcorn. You put it in the oven, in the microwave, you expect it to be voila, done in 3 minutes. You can't expect a quarterback that just came out of college to be producing the same way that he was in college, because he's just learning a new offense. There's new pieces around him. There's a whole lot of things that go into that. Speaking of college. playing at Princeton, who were some of the top quarterbacks that you went against, some of the top wide receivers that you had to cover in the Ivy League?
Yeah, in the Ivy League? All right, that's cool. I think my first one that comes to mind is we call him West Rocket. He was out of Brown. He was cold, man. You see him. I think, the Browns' offense in the Ivy League was, I forget who it was run by, but it was Coach Perry, and they was always high-powered. I'm talking about we considered like greatest show on turf type deal where they about to start slinging the rock. They had E.J. Perry. I think it was like my sophomore and junior year, but they were throwing it. But West Rocket was one of the guys who, it seemed like every time we played him, he would have a Sports Center top 10.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he was solid. There's a guy on the Yale, or he's on the Saints now, Mason Tipton.
Okay.
Mason Tipton. He's actually about to get his a first look really with Brandon Cooks getting released. So Mason Tipton was he gave us that work my junior year.
Gave you that work?
Nah. I went in the game that time. But he was cold. And then in terms of quarterbacks, I would say Nolan Grooms was solid with Yale. But there's this kid right now with Harvard, and mind you, he's gonna end up being a draft prospect. Jaden Craig, he's one of my boys out there at Harvard right now. Black quarterback in the Ivy League. He's led the Crimson to 3 straight Ivy League titles now, man. If they win against Yale, they're about to be 10-0. So that's huge in the Ivy League, man. But Jaden Craig is balling out. Probably about to be Ivy League Player of the Year.
That's what's up. That sounds crazy to talk about Ivy League football, but I love the perspective.
Yeah.
Y'all got ballers out there.
We got some guys out there, man. I mean, look, now that Jamar Chase is gone, you better keep in mind, watch this. Andre Yosivas. He's my receiver from Princeton. He's about to ball out.
All right.
Him and T. Watch it.
Watch
He's about to step
I hope
up.
you ain't putting him on the spot.
Nah, I'm not. Watch it, though. Andre about to ball out for sure.
Cool.
I want to spin back a little bit to Shedeur, though. I don't know if you know about that whole controversy, with Kevin Stefanski. So Kevin Stefanski, Dylan Gabriel, they all have the same agent. They're all part of the same agency, CAA.
Shit.
So my thing is something smells a little fishy. Like you said, there's no reason why, a quarterback who's a rookie is terrible. There's a quarterback as a rookie is not getting first-team reps. So in your opinion, have you ever seen I feel like this situation is unprecedented. A guy who was supposed to be a top 5 pick falls all the way to the 5th round. Now he's not getting any type of first-team reps throughout training camp, week 12, week 11, week 12 of the season. So have you ever seen anything like this within the league? Is there anything comparable on that?
It's kind of odd. It's a little odd. I feel like the whole Shedeur Sanders situation has been a little bit odd. So many different opinions out there that it doesn't need mine when it comes to what happened on draft day and all those different things. We're here now. So to not try and cultivate and bring along both rookie quarterbacks, because at some point you're going to obviously need them to play, especially when you get rid of the veteran in the room and Joe Flacco. And I say it definitely stinks. And look, Kevin Stefanski being the head coach, he's entitled to start his quarterback, the quarterback he wants out there, and that was Dylan Gabriel. But I don't understand why you wouldn't give your backup quarterback reps. We know Dylan Gabriel is your guy. You guys got the same agent. You're going to take care of yours. That's cool. But it's almost malpractice if you're not letting the backup quarterback get an opportunity, which is common in the NFL, to kind of get better, to know not even get better, just be prepared if they have to play. And we saw Shedeur go out there not do too well, but I will say the defensive back made a great play on the play on the end zone, or that would have been a tie game. So Shedeur definitely put him in position to have an opportunity at the end.
Yeah, and I read something where Shedeur completed, he only completed 4 passes, but he attempted like 5 passes above 25 plus yards. And Dylan Gabriel only did that 6 times throughout the whole season. So, I mean,
they know something, obviously, about Shedeur, and, I just wish him the best. But remember, it's only his first game.
Exactly. So now to get into, more of the business side of it, Steph Curry leaves Under Armour after around a 13-year partnership. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like I automatically think of Michael Jordan's mom negotiating the deal for him, because you think about how far the sneakers and branding have come to where, Steph's about to get an Orca deal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's very marketable. He's been an upstanding citizen as well as one of the greatest basketball players of this time. He's revolutionized the game to where the kids don't even play inside the 3-point line anymore.
Right.
Everybody wants to shoot threes like Steph. So I think Kevin Plank and Under Armour, they dropped the ball, but for whatever his reasons were, he's gonna get paid.
Yeah, he's gonna get that dough, but they're saying the reason why, of course, we've seen, Under Armour stock be at a 52-week low.
It's plummeting.
It's plummeted, but Kevin Plank comes to find out, he's an open supporter of Trump, and that leads us into the whole politics and sports debate of should it be in it, should it not? We're kind of seeing it more in our face now every day. But, what are your thoughts on kind of that whole situation of Kevin Plank, putting politics in and then really not securing, like, Steph Curry was Under Armour's basketball line. Now they
had a run with
that.
Cam Newton had a big run.
Yeah.
And some other athletes. It just goes to show that, obviously it's the billionaires and the millionaires that are on top, but it's the lower and middle class that are the consumers. So it goes to show that that's those people using their voice. They didn't agree with Kevin Plank's political decisions, and they show it by hitting them in the pockets. One of the things that NFL coaches would always say, if a player's not listening, hit them in their pockets.
Yeah.
They'll hit you in your pockets. They know they care about their money, hit them in the pockets. So, it's unfortunate that about 5-6 years ago, they was like, politics, keep it out of sports, but, it's just the wave now, and, you just see the results.
And my thing is too, when it just comes to the shoe of Steph Curry's shoe,
that's just trash.
It was terrible. Like, I don't know who was the designer of it, but you made it a low cut sneaker.
Did y'all wear it?
No,
up? Did
absolutely
you wear it
not.
up?
It was KD's. We were rocking KD's at
That's
the time.
like Starberries, but not like And1s. I'm not like Stephon Marbury did a great job with his And1 sneaker. He made it affordable for that was the whole thing with Starberry. So I don't know.
That wasn't the message with Under Armour though. They was trying to compete with Nike, and they made a low cut sneaker where they know Curry has ankle problems. And I think the downfall went from 2016 NBA Finals. Bob Myers, come to find out, the Warriors GM at the time was telling Curry, I don't think you need to wear those for the finals. And then after that, it just was, and they looked terrible. They looked like dad sneakers after the first one. It was, I don't think, whoever was designing it, there was no foresight involved. They were trying to focus in on performance, but they didn't realize basketball culture is guys aren't buying sneakers to wear them, in basketball. We want it to
only
look
basketball
cool,
players wear basketball sneakers to play basketball, and more than half the consumers are not basketball players.
Exactly.
I got a question for you. Did you reclass?
Nah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
you
in sports.
Talking about like the COVID year and all that?
Nah, so like, yes, I guess that's when it started. But like in youth sports and high school sports, a reclass is, okay, if you're going into 8th grade, or if you're in 8th grade supposed to go to 9th grade, you get held back again and you do 8th grade, the reclass. So I'm sure you came into contact with a lot of those type of athletes. What is your thought on that from someone that didn't reclass during the reclass era?
So that's because a lot of my good friends, from high school to be even in elementary school, like they reclassed, and I remember my parents saying like, "Oh, this dude is a whole year older than you, Nas, blah blah blah." But it just depends on your whole situation. I wouldn't like necessarily for me.
Why were they doing? What was the reason the homies were saying they gonna? Because like that's just getting left back in my day.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody trying to get left back.
First off, I'm trying to finish school as early as I can. I'm trying to be in the right grade, but I never. That was kind of. You saw it, but it was kind of a little bit of a touchy subject too, So I never really asked my friends about it, but I feel like the parents wanted either one, probably to have some sort of, a little bit of an advantage. You let the kid develop a little more, play with guys who might be a little bit younger, But I don't know. That's
crazy
interesting,
work.
man. But you see it now. I see it all the time from first grade all the way up into Princeton. I see guys reclassing, but then that brings me to the whole reclass of college players. So I don't know if with COVID happening, everybody got another year of eligibility. And I was kind of the class who just missed that, that time frame. But now we're seeing guys who are, 26, still in college.
That's crazy. I mean, look, college is like amateur sports right now. So if they're getting paid, that's cool. Like if I'm one of those guys that I know I don't necessarily have a shot to make it in the NBA or the NFL or MLB or any other professional leagues, and most especially in women's sports, right? Because now they're able to get the NIL, and a lot of these women have to go overseas to play professional basketball to get a real bag. So the fact that they're able to make some money while they're in college, and even a lot of these college players that were like dope in college, but they're not going to necessarily go on to be dope in the NFL. It gives them like a stepping stone to make some money off of what they've done. And so in college, I totally understand. And that's why I'm saying it gets me back to what I'm talking about, reclassing in junior high and high school. Yo, you're eventually going to have to play against the same competition coming up. We ain't reclass, bro. You getting left back if we always played up.
Exactly.
Like if I'm 12 years old, I'm trying to play with the older cats. Because you play with the older cats, you see where you're at. There wasn't no trainers or none. Allen Iverson, none of these athletes went to no trainers. You know what our training was? Go out there and find a pickup game. Or we're going to play baseball. Or we're going to go out in the field and play football. Like, honestly, like, I distinctively remember training for basketball. Training for basketball all summer was you just had your Olaf shorts under whatever you had, you ready to go. You ready to go on site playing basketball. That's how you trained for basketball. There was no trainers. I'm sure some cats had trainers and shit, but we ain't have no trainers in those days. We just went outside and hooped, and that's how you got good. So it's the whole reclass thing to me is
different. It's different.
Take your ass outside and play some competition.
It's a generational dynamic, but hey,
it comes from the parents too. Though.
I was about to say, I feel like I'm getting a lecture right now. Shoot, it was your generation who did it. Y'all's the one who raised us, right?
Nah, but that's why I'm saying, right? So you're absolutely right. So it's the guys from my generation that couldn't cut it. It's the fathers from my generation that couldn't cut it when they was coming up. So they're trying to live through their kids. They're like, yo, stay a class back, go back. So now you're playing against younger kids. But fathers, please let me tell you, it's all the cream rises to the top.
So do every
you
time.
Either got it or you don't. You either smoke or you get smoked. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things you can try and save your kids all you want at the youth level, but if you put that mentality in them, that's why we got these soft ass kids out here now. Sorry.
Yeah, you always got to compete, man. No matter what. I mean, shoot, once you get to 9th grade, you playing with guys 4 years older than you. So big news in entertainment this week. November 26th, Stranger Things season 5 drops on Netflix.
Big news for who?
Man, come on, you watch Stranger Things at the crib now.
I've seen the first 2, maybe 3,
2 or 3
2 and a half seasons. I definitely seen 2.
Okay,
for sure.
So you probably left off with like 11 with the Eggo waffles. You seen all that, right?
Now you just lost me. I know. I saw. I seen the first 2. It's safe to say that, and I know 11 was super powerful. One of the last ones I saw, and then I just lost for this. So it's about to come back out.
It's about to come back out. So the part 1 is coming out November 26th. Part 2 is coming out on Christmas, man. So
okay.
They're doing a
My
2-part
kids watch
series.
it for sure.
Yeah,
my kids watch it for sure. All right, I'll get into it.
Let me ask you this, man. So it's set in Hawkins, Indiana, in the 80s.
All right.
So, do you remember? Does it look like how life was like in the 80s? I know you grew up in that time, man. I don't know nothing about it. So what it look like for you, man?
Well, I grew up in Rockland County, New York. We're a suburb about 20 miles outside of New York City. So it was nothing like Hawkins, Indiana. But some of the clothes and some of those things, you could tell the time period. But we was way tougher than them kids, man. Okay. That would be fucking hilarious to do like a Stranger Things based on
in New York.
Yeah. Oh wow, them zombies.
They weren't playing no. I don't know what it was called.
You know what? The series might be over quick because we scary, bro. We're not staying for nobody's going in no house and doing all that crazy shit
playing
that they
Dungeons.
were doing.
I don't know if it was Dungeons and Dragons, some game they was playing and all that.
Yeah, we used to play Dungeons and Dragons. I remember that type stuff, but they were really into that supernatural shit.
Got you.
You know, so anything supernatural, little black kids ain't really doing it. And there is a black kid in there, but he got all white friends. He ain't got
What's
no black
wrong with
homies.
that though, man? Come on.
He has all white friends. So I'm saying he has no other influences. So he's gonna be doing white kid stuff, and white kids are very, very,
They get into stuff, huh?
Yeah, they're inquisitive and they do
Adventurous.
that's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
And I was adventurous as a kid, but
Yeah.
I was always the most adventurous
Yeah.
with my white friends. You feel me? You see where I'm going?
So it's a little bit of I'm about to go 80s mode a little bit on the movie. So it's like a little bit of Stand By Me action.
Yeah, Stand By Me.
was
But
cool
you
movie.
notice in Stand By Me, there were no black kids in
There
Stand.
weren't.
See,
There
white
weren't.
kids
There
is
were-
adventurous, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, most kids growing up, my foster brothers are white. We did adventurous shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I know for a fact I lived it.
So it was a big thing in the studio, you know, this past week with Wale coming in with the interview, and they was talking about Miami Vice. And I had seen a clip on Instagram where it was like Tubbs and what's the other dude's name?
Crockett.
Crockett and Tubbs rolling in I don't know what kind of car it was, but they were singing, I can
air of the
feel
night,
it
man, the Phil
coming
Collins.
in the air. That's my thing. So that's
Okay.
what we listen to at NBA, all my NBA boys before, every football game. But I was like, damn, I got to check this out. So I check it out. It was like an hour and a half long series intro or whatever, but it was solid. So I didn't realize in 83, Scarface dropped with Al Pacino, and in 84, Miami Vice dropped. So
Learning
I'm
some
looking
history.
back. I'm looking back like, was Miami the spot back then? Then I realized my boys, we played GTA. That's where Vice City came from. So talk to me about that.
All right, now, so look, Miami was the spot for me in more about year 2000 to about 2008.
Okay.
In 83, I was 6. So won't nothing shaking for the kid in Miami then.
But you didn't look up and be like, I want to be in Miami. You didn't think so?
Look, man, in 1980, the Cuban immigration refugees,
Yeah.
Castro, look, you either here or you go to America. They came to America,
Yeah.
and they set up shop. You know what I mean? And then that's when, you can go look up your gangster drug history. You got the Black Widow. That's when the whole cocaine cowboy situation. Great
Okay.
documentary to go check out. Tell you everything about Miami in the 80s you need to know to what you're speaking about. So that's kind of how Miami Vice came through, because in the early 80s, Miami was going down like that. That's how Scarface came.
Got
And,
you. Okay.
it all was sensationalized, but not really. If you go watch my cocaine cowboys and look up this lady Griselda Blanco, take
Griselda.
you down the rabbit hole.
Got
And,
you. They
you'll
just
learn-
did a whole little Netflix
Yeah,
series,
man.
didn't it, with Sofia Vergara, right?
You young kids is on it, man. You young
Okay.
kids is on it.
Word.
Hey, let me spin the block real quick. I want to give a shout out to Riley Green and Ella Langley. Riley Green is the owner of this bar, namesake. They got three CMA awards last night for their song "You Look Like You Love Me." I ain't gonna sing. They single of the year, song of the year, music video of the year. Riley's a great dude, very humble, happy for him. So I wanted to make sure I included that, because that happened in Nashville this week. Nashville goes down CMA weeks. I've been to a few, but I'll be home chilling now.
Word. Say less. Hey, shout out to Riley Green. Congrats, man. That's huge. That's one of the biggest awards you can get as a country music star, man. But I know I've seen, you have the question of the day or the word of the day, and I've seen that. So I'm about to steal that a little bit
All right, let's get
to
it.
close it out. And I feel like the word of the day here is legacy. So we talked about, Curry, Under Armour. He's changing his legacy now, about to go somewhere. Shedeur Sanders, it looks like in his second game, he's about to have a legacy defining moment. It looks like either he's about to be a start. It looks like he's about to be a starting quarterback, or he's gonna be a backup if he's terrible.
I hear what you're saying, though.
I mean, it looked like they're running a tight ship with the Cleveland organization, And then now we're talking about, a little bit about the Titans and Cam. So I wanted to ask you, how does first the Titans build some sort of legacy? So I was hearing Derek Mason, you had him on this week talking about, the smash nose football that you guys played. And a lot of Titans fans don't really know what was like, from them coming in and playing in trailers, going to Memphis, playing at Vandy, to building the culture that we kind of have, to this day, or we're missing to this day. So how have you gone about, thinking about legacy in your career? And also, what can the Titans do to build their own legacy in this new era?
Well, I would say I'll answer your last question first. I feel like when I think about the history of the Titans, you know, you had Eddie, George, and Steve, and I was a part of that, you know, and then you go to about 2004, 2005, we had a rebuild, kind of where the Titans are now, and I was a part of that, and we were the tyrants. Like, you know, it was a mentality. Nobody's going to give you respect. You got to take it. You got to be a tyrant. And that's what we were. And then you go to, you know, the Kevin Byard. You go to the Derrick Henry, the Jarrell Casey,
AJ Brown,
like Tannehill, Taylor Lewan, that era. They were the boys. You know what I mean? So that was their identity. I don't know where they got, you know, wherever they got that
definitely.
from. And then now, it's up to the guys in that locker room now to form who they are. What is their identity going to be? And you got to live it. You got to breathe it. And that's who you are. That's who the league sees you as. And right now, only person they see is, you know, Big Jeff. It's not fair to ask a rookie in Cam Ward who's only played 10 games to stand up and represent what it means to be a Titan. Eventually he will. But right now, you know, it goes through Big Jeff and everybody got to follow his lead, and whoever's coming with them got to make it happen. And as for my legacy, man, I never really was playing for a legacy, man. You know, I was a foster kid, so at the end of the day, I wanted to play for 10 years and make $10 million, and I superseded that. You know, I sold myself short, but when I guess I look back at it, my legacy is what I left, right? There hasn't been a linebacker since myself that, you know, did what I did, whatever it was, you know, however it's seen. You know, I always aim to be the best at whatever I do. So to be thought of as one of the best to play the position here in Tennessee, that's my legacy, you know. You know, shoot for the stars, aim for the moon, however that shit go, you know. However, that's what it was.
Word. Well, I appreciate that, man. Little insight on the Bullseye view. You know what I'm saying? Word.
Appreciate y'all joining us for another episode of Bullseye Review. You can check us here every Friday. Please subscribe. We trying to build this thing out. Bullseye View TV. Holla at your boys on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Podcasting for the masses, and I'm coming correct.